Hello and thanks for joining us. This is The Point, and on today's edition of the program, we shall be zooming on digital economy. The world is today being dictated by the pace of information. Practically everything one wants to do in reality, or one does in reality, happens in the internet. It doubles itself, triples itself. Why not? Everything happens from schooling, buying and selling, whining and dining. And what have you? All of that happen in the internet, which is why world leaders have been brainstorming on how to control the internet so much that it serves the people rather than the people serving it. Well, one good thing the internet has brought is about the fact that you can use the internet to generate wealth for yourself. And many people have exploited that part of the internet, bringing a lot of money from here and there from the internet. Hence, the name comes digital economy. Digital economy, of course, is one name that is making wave around the world, talking about investing and making money using the internet. And of course, in Cameroon, the government has been fine-tuning ways on how to use the digital sector to boost the economy of the nation. And of course, the Minister of Post and Telecommunication announced just this December that the government of Cameroon shall be investing on creating a Silicon Valley in Yaoundé, Cameroon. That is going to be a hub where we shall be having tech developers bringing innovative ideas on how to boost the digital economy of Cameroon. But then, how would that work? And how will digital economy help in making Cameroon attain its emergence? My guest on today's edition of the program is a tech developer. He is a creative mind when it comes to issues of the internet. My guest is Nanje Churchill Nanje. He is the founder of Joku.com. He is part of the Silicon Mountain based here in Boya. Mr. Joku, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course, we are talking about digital economy today. First of all, just explain it for us. What is digital economy?
Well, digital economy was first we have to talk of digital. Digital is 0 and 1, and it comes because semiconductors and electronics deal with 0 and 1s, binary, digital. Yeah, and then the digital economy is an economy that has been created from the digital world. And when I say digital world, I mean created from digital electronics and particularly now also from the internet. So you have companies selling smartphones who are in the digital economy, and then other companies building applications and web platforms on these smartphones and these computers who are also in the digital economy. Yeah.
Okay. So now the world is tilting from reality, from the reality way of doing things, especially marketing, to now doing boost. Even the currency we have now, we have digital currency and all of that. How does that work? How does all of that work?
Well, the digital world is made up of a lot of virtual things. And by virtual things, I mean virtual communities. For instance, there is a community called Facebook where people go and share pictures and comment about socio-political things, comment about other people's lives, talk about themselves, share ideas and all that. So yeah, these new communities also create avenues for commerce, right? It's like going to a village. As long as there are many people in that village, if you set up a small shop, your shop, people will come and buy from your shop. So yeah, so this digital world, which is made up of things like Snapchat, maybe Facebook. I'm just breaking it down. It's more complex than this. Amazon to buy products, Alibaba, Google to find information. These virtual resources and platforms create avenues for people to do some sort of commerce. Whatever you can do in Boya offline, you can also do in these communities. So if in Boya people are using money, then you can also create money in these communities online, in the digital world. If in Boya people are able to sell books, then online you could sell books, because where there are people, there is commerce. So I think just to make it really simple, these new virtual resources, platforms, communities bring about all these other opportunities for sales and also for marketing, which also leads to sales and all of that. So that's just to explain to the layman.
Right. Now, of course, it is very interesting, but let's go down, like you said, the layman. Um, of course, the government of Cameroon is very interested in investing on the digital sector, using the digital economy to fine-tune its economy. How is the layman implicated in this? Because it seems it's some elite kind of thing. Some few people are engaged in this whole process. How is the layman implicated in this?
No, it's not actually elitist. It's simple. Nowadays, we already use a digital financial tool in Cameroon. Mobile money, MTN mobile money, Orange. I'm not trying to market them. I'm just giving examples. Orange money, So these tools are used by lay people. You can now, before you have to go to an agency, fill out a form, wait in a queue, and then pay for your money to be sent to Yaoundé. And if you were in a village, maybe like Ediki, you had to travel to Kumba to send the money or collect your money. But nowadays, with a simple phone, not even a smartphone, a regular phone, and GSM technology, you could actually sit in a key and receive money, and you can go and get your cash without going to any agency. So the money resides in your phone. So this is what the digital economy, this is just like an iceberg of what is coming in the digital world. A lot will change. People will be able to sit in their homes and sell and buy products, sit in their homes, study, sit in their homes, render services to people across the world. Some of us already do that, and just sit at home and the money comes to them. So digital economy, it's like creating wealth from nothing, just because you have an internet connection, a computer, and a smartphone. So this is an avenue where a lot of Cameroonians who are unemployed today could actually find a lot of work, because I'll give examples of things that are already happening. There are a lot of young people in Boya who just, out of creating a blogspot account, I don't know if you know blogger.com.
Of course.
Creating a blogspot account for free, they are able to now run advertising, write articles on the entertainment scene in Cameroon, and people pay them to advertise their music, their songs and stuff like that. And some of them are earning a living, at least they could pay their bills, and which is before the internet or before the digital economy. Some of these people will be struggling to get jobs in the media houses, maybe radio, TV, and we don't have many of those. And so now it creates opportunities that are endless. Like every opportunity that exists on earth, a Cameroonian now has access to, just because they have maybe a smartphone, a laptop, and an internet connection.
Right. It sounds so simple, the way you're explaining it, but then we all know the complications that come with it. So practically, you are indicating that with the coming of the digital economy and with the perfect implementation, I mean, if it's well implemented, then a farmer will be able to sell their produce online. They would be able to have a wider...
Well, there is a caveat. It's a bit... It's simple, yeah? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to goods that are tangible, mm-hmm. like a farmer in Kwakwa, mm-hmm. although there are no farmers there now, but a farmer in Kwakwa, yeah. Even if they have a smartphone and the internet and they sell the product, somebody in Yaoundé buys the product, that part can be possible now. Right. The difficulty now is where policy and infrastructure come in place. Okay. How will they transport the product from Kwakwa to Yaoundé?
To the destination.
Yes, we don't have the roads. In fact, I'll tell you what, Cameroon has no roads. And we need these infrastructures. So you can't talk about digital economy when the base infrastructure is not there. And I'm happy with what the government has been doing in the direction of internet, because I think we have the fastest and cheapest internet around Semak, and even our internet is even faster and cheaper than internet in Nigeria. Yeah, but so they've done a good job, put fiber optic backbones, bring in competition from all the telcos, and now internet is really fast. Sometimes it goes up to 40 megabits per second, and it all changed in the past 5 years. But that's the digital part. Something else has to be done. We need good road infrastructures, and we need power infrastructure like electricity, because you cannot run a digital economy without stable electricity. I'm talking of the players that build infrastructure, who are going to build platforms. So some of these things are necessary to make this a reality. Yeah, for now, some of them are not in place.
They're not in place, of course. Like you say, it is all about policy, good policies to accompany some of these good actions that are coming into play. Now, you are one of the founders, I like to call it the founders of Silicon Mountain.
No, I'm not. Silicon Mountain cannot be founded.
Right.
Silicon Mountain is just a tech ecosystem. It's like an economic cluster. In economics, it could be called an economic cluster. In business, we'll call it a business cluster or an industrial zone. But this one now is a technology industrial zone, and it was created organically. People around here just realized they could use computers to earn a living. They started learning how to write computer code, started learning how to build businesses, and they started training others for free, mentoring other young people. Then all that exchange in ideas and all that collective hard work has bettered what we all know as Silicon Mountain. But you can't really pinpoint that when was it founded. There was no date of founding. And you can't really say when will it stop existing. It can't stop, because as long as there are young people in Boya who are developing technology, who are selling technology, who are innovating non-stop, Silicon Mountain will always exist right here.
Right. Now, we're going to talk about Silicon Mountain in brief, and also kind of the comparison between Silicon Mountain now and what the government is actually announcing to bring, the Silicon Valley, which many say will be some kind of a competing factor with the Silicon Mountain. But before we do that, I'd like us to actually go through and see what happens in the Silicon Mountain, what tech developers do in Silicon Mountain. This is a small footage we did with the French television France 24, and of course it involved you, Churchill Niger, and a host of other tech developers, just so we understand how things function in Silicon Mountain. Let's take a watch, and when we come back, we'll talk more on Silicon Mountain and digital economy.
Active Spaces is an incubator designed to attract and develop talent from Boya's 3 universities. The developers work on a wide range of products, but with one thing in common.
Actually doing what we call localization, according to FEE. What? Localization. So it's a concept where we conceive products locally and we build for the global scale.
That is what could give these developers an edge over their competitors in Silicon Valley. Many of the problems that complicate their lives in Africa, lack of broadband, patchy networks, inexperienced users, are problems everywhere in the emerging world. Globalization means their local solutions can have a market far beyond Cameroon in all sorts of fields.
I'm working on Academy, and Academy is a platform that helps people acquire tech startup skills.
Okay, great, thank you. And Karine and Mo, what are you guys doing?
Working on Viva is in-flight entertainment for buses and trains.
Okay, and we're going to see more of that at the bus station tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
And then over here, Fritz, first of all, what is FEEM and how do you spell it?
FEEM is spelled F-E-E-M, and it's the best way to transfer files between mobile, tablet, and desktop devices.
FEEM is convenient, but it's a necessity if you don't have broadband.
Everybody who uses FEEM, like especially in India or developing nations, since the internet is very slow, they really want to be able to transfer files very fast.
So your potential market is the entire developing world?
We are aiming for global domination, yes. If I check my statistics right now, let me just quickly. So yes, so we have our users from, right now we have Philippines, we have India, Sri Lanka, we have Cameroon, we have United States, we have etc.
FEEM has 1 million users around the world and is already bringing in money. Other projects like Viva are just getting off the ground.
So, hey Mo, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. What are we doing here?
Well, the first bus to Yaoundé leaves right now.
Going to Yaoundé. Okay,
Yep.
let's go take a look at Viva and how it works.
All right.
Let's go.
Mo is a little nervous this morning. He's testing Viva on the 8-hour ride to the capital. He's just trained the hostesses, and he knows that presentation is everything.
There's a new service on bus this morning, Viva.
Viva allows bus and train operators to provide airplane-style entertainment to their customers.
So, Mo, how does the Viva box work?
Okay, so essentially VivaBox is a mini PC, and now we've developed the software that runs it. So it's connected to a power source, and you have an antenna, and then you have data storage for over 80 movies.
Okay. And then what do the passengers get to see?
Okay, so the box creates a Wi-Fi signal. Now the Wi-Fi signal can be accessed through tablet, smartphone, or laptop. So this is what they see. All right. So if I click on the news section, for example, you have content here, and they can scroll through and watch videos. For example, this is a really cool video by France 24.
Thank you very much. And do you have rights to this content? France 24, of course, but how about the other content?
Well, we work with the bus company who acquires the rights to the videos.
The passengers appreciate the range of programming.
For me, I'm a newsman. I would like to watch news and keep current. I've seen several movies there. There are movie people, there are kids' entertainments, and I've also seen music for those who love music.
Like other passengers on the bus, the Monsignor admits he doesn't currently have any African-made apps on his phone, but he hopes that will change. Back in Boya, the developers hope that will change too. Over lunch, the million-dollar question comes up: investment. Their projects are mostly at the seed level stage, needing a few $1,000s to buy computers and pay salaries. But some have managed to find angel investment, $25,000 or $50,000.
Some of us are like angel investment. Now you can look at AgroHub, it's just got angel investment. Fee Perfect got angel investment. Joku got angel investment. So I could gracefully say we are at the stage of angel investment. It's not more difficult to raise angel funding in Cameroon. It used to be very difficult.
It used to be impossible.
The next step is venture capital, VC money, hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions. The startups of Silicon Mountain aren't there yet, and they stress that what they need is investors who are in it for the long term, with the specific experience and contacts they need.
So guys, let's go around the table. Each of you tell me one thing that you need to make your project grow to the next level. Let's start with Valerie.
Okay, yeah, for me, that would be better payment systems. Okay, for me, that would be money for product development and for community development.
For me, I think it's regulation.
Access to content providers.
Skills, we need the right skills.
Distribution channels.
I think I need to get more human capital to scale. Yeah.
Money, but also knowledge, skills, and above all,
The real thing we need is the right people: marketing, sales, engineering, legal, business development, partnership.
And do those people exist in Cameroon?
Even if they don't, we have to create them. That is why we build software, right? If I could build the software, I could build the people I need.
All right, welcome back. Of course, you now have some view on the operations of Silicon Mountain. And of course, like you did observe, Silicon Mountain is made up of many tech developers who are operating in an active space, in a hub called Active Space. And of course, they are doing so much for the nation. They're doing quite a lot. And Nanje, now, how did these tech developers come together under a hub to be doing some good work all in a room? I mean, you want to call it an active space. How did it happen?
Oh, actually, all the tech developers in Silicon Mountain are not in one room.
Oh, okay.
They're not in active spaces. Active spaces is a hub that promotes tech entrepreneurship in Boya, and it also exists in Douala. But some of the tech entrepreneurs in Boya use active spaces because active spaces offers free internet, office space, and also mentoring and training for young guys who want to enter the digital economy. But as part of Active Spaces, Silicon Mountain also has other hubs. We have hubs like the Jungle Hub, we have WeShare hubs, and there are many other people trying to build hubs around here. And also, most of the tech companies here also incubate talent, because we believe talent is something that the digital economy needs. For you to be able to be active in the digital economy, you need to be able to have a lot of skills. It's all merit. There is no way you can do your man no man in this economy, no. If you can't do it, nobody will hire you, so you need to get the skills. And you can hire people that you're friends with because they are friends with you, because they won't help your company, because you need skills and talents to do the job. So most of the tech companies around here also mentor and train young people, hoping that they work for them, but sometimes these young people go and start their own companies too. So this all leads to the whole virtual economy called Silicon Mountain that spans across the FACO division. Yeah, so Active Spaces is just one of our hubs, the mother hub, but there are other hubs too. So
all these hubs make up the Silicon Mountain.
The hubs, the tech startups, and a lot of other things, even the universities, because they attract talents to come to Boya.
Right.
Yeah, that's the Silicon Mountain is. It's like Silicon Valley in the US. It's a whole virtual community, and the collective input from everybody creates some sort of constructive interference, if I would say. For those who did physics, who understand constructive interference. So it creates some resonance, and this resonance is what people feel as a Silicon Mountain. But if you come in Boya and say, what is Silicon Mountain? There is no individual point who point that is Silicon Mountain. No, Silicon Mountain is everywhere and nowhere. It is a virtual kind of technology business cluster.
Right. Now, how is Silicon Mountain helping the government attain its digital economy? Should I say objective? Yeah, objective. How is Silicon Mountain? Is the Silicon Mountain working with government in realizing the digital economy objective?
Well, Silicon Mountain in itself can't work with anybody as a business. Silicon Mountain is not a business, it's not a company.
Right.
But there are tech guys, tech businessmen, tech businesses, entrepreneurs in Boya. Some of them work with the government. Some of them render services at very, very top quality to the government. So yes, that's how I could say Silicon Mountain, what's happening here is helping the government. Also, what's happening here is helping inspire young people across Cameroon and even Francophone Africa into thinking about getting into the digital economy. That's also another way we're helping the government. And I will say the fact that we are doing and setting the pace, and also that we have success stories, it's another way to help educate more young Cameroonians into the digital economy, which I think is something the government is trying to do too. Yeah.
You are the founder of Njoku.com. It is an online job search online platform.
Job search engine, just like
job
Google.
Search engine. Yeah. Tell us more about that.
Well, Njoku.com is where people go to find work when they're looking for work in Cameroon and 10 other African countries. So you go there if you're looking for a job as an accountant. You tell Njoku you're looking for a job as an accountant, and Njoku shows you results of jobs it finds closest to you for accountant or marketing or sales. And if you don't find anything, you can upload your CV or you specify the kind of jobs you're interested in. And every day Njoku will look for jobs that match your profile. And if there's a job for you, it will email that job to you. But also Njoku offers technology solutions to companies. So we deploy software that companies use to run their recruitment, and which is kind of difficult in Cameroon. So we are happy to have clients like Dangote, Cement Cameroon using our services, and a couple of others. Yeah.
Well, how now? When people search, people look for jobs and all of that. How does that serve you? How do you make money out of that?
Do
you actually make money?
I just told you that we have technology solutions we sell to companies, but the data we get from the job seekers helps us to build and serve our clients better. Just like Facebook. On Facebook.com, it's free, but the data is used by companies or business people that want to advertise. So it's the same concept in Joko.
Right. Now, the government of Cameroon intends to create a Silicon Valley, some sort of a comparison to what we call Silicon Mountain that operates here in Buea. First of all, going by what the Minister of Post and Telecommunication explained, what is your say as a tech developer, as an online entrepreneur and all of that? What is your say about that?
Well, first and foremost, you can ask someone in Silicon Mountain about Cameroon, Silicon Valley, Yaoundé. The person in Silicon Mountain is definitely going to be biased. So, but with that out of the way, I personally think that it's not the best use of taxpayers' money, because there is already something with the foundation and the cluster happening in FACO, and they can't really justify. For me, I don't see how they'll justify investing 11.9 billion francs
close to 12 billion
in Yaoundé to start something from scratch, when there was something in Buea that they could easily come in and create some infrastructure or understand it, and then find ways to invest this money into the tech ecosystem here and see how to make it grow. Because Silicon Mountain in Buea, it's in Cameroon, it's not an Anglophone or a Francophone thing. It is a Cameroonian thing. When Franz Venkat came to talk about Silicon Mountain, they said Silicon Mountain in Cameroon. They didn't say Silicon Mountain in Anglophone Cameroon or in you know, it is the country that benefits. If Silicon Mountain is big in Cameroon, people from Garoua, Maroua, even people from Chad come here to come and participate in the community and see what's happening, you know. But I personally, I think it's a good thing. At least the government is looking at investing into setting up some sort of infrastructure and sort of enabling environment. But I also think it's if I was the one, I will look at what already exists and try to see how to push it, rather than starting something from scratch, which I'm not sure will work, because it's best to just support something that's already working. And also, if we look at history, no government has effectively created a tech economic movement or cluster. It's a grassroots kind of initiative. It needs people with passion, motivation, who are there to see this happen through thick or thin. Yeah, and if we look at the case of Silicon Valley in the US, the government actually helped push it, but they didn't go and directly. It was indirect. Maybe they saw some initiatives in the Bay Area, and they gave them grants to continue doing what they were doing. So they come in form of grants, or in form of infrastructure, in form of regulatory movements and all of that. Yeah. But also, if you look at the case of China, China is the next area. It's actually the most visible where the government has actually impacted the good of that technology sector. But what did the government do in China? They had a lot of money. They identified some very smart, already passionate, hardworking Chinese citizens who were already into the digital economy, and they went in and maybe acquired part of this company, so it becomes parastatal, and invested a lot of money and had oversight on it. But the entrepreneur who started it continues. So in a sense, the government has helped create a local Chinese entrepreneur who is now going global. And I'll tell you what, one of those companies is what is helping internet in Cameroon today. Huawei was born out of public-private partnership to create an enterprise network infrastructure, global supplier, and now they're number one across the world. And they have not been there for long. Even Cisco can't compare with them.
Right.
Yeah, they did the whole fiber optic in Cameroon. They're dragging fiber optic from Brazil to Cameroon right now, and they're the ones handling the infrastructure. In fact, my internet, everything internet in Cameroon, you can't say anything about without Huawei. But Huawei was started by some Chinese guys, but the government decided to turn it into like some sort of a public-private partnership, invest a lot of money into it as investment. So the government owns part of Huawei and then helps them go global, so that the advantage in this is these Chinese multinationals that are public-private are loyal to the government, and they go out there in the world generating a lot of money and paying taxes back to China, and the government owns part of it, so the government can easily make decisions with them. But the government of China also understands that they are the ones that are on the front line, so you need to let them run things, and also you need to make them, because this is about passion. Trust me, I could be anywhere in the world, but I'm in Boya. I've traveled the world, but I always come back to Boya. Right. People ask me, Churchill, what are you doing in Boya? You could be in America making a lot of money. I'm like, yes, but the real reason is it's a passion. It's not always about money. So something like Silicon Mountain is not created with money. Money is a tool to help accelerate, but you don't create it with money. Right. So that's what I think.
Right. Okay, thank you very much for expatiating on that. In fact, you really touched some very vital points there. Hopefully, policymakers are getting you and would make some changes if need be. Now, let's look at tech development with respect to social problems and all of that. Now, you are part of the tech developers. How much has the tech facilitated, if not enhanced, some of the problems we find around us, some of the social problems we find around us? Of course, we know job creation is one of them, which you are a part and parcel of it. But other things like health, like education and all of that, has the tech sector been able to pump in some investments to enhance some of these social challenges we have?
Well, the thing is, tech in itself has its own limits. Right. Yeah. There was this lady from Kenya. Her name is Ori Okolo. She was one of the people that really pushed technology in Kenya. A few years ago, she made a post online on Twitter and wrote an article that you cannot out-innovate bad governance. So, which translates, let me just repeat it again. You cannot out-innovate bad governance. You cannot out-innovate bad policies. There is no way for your innovation to change much if the policies in place don't favor it. So, if you want tech to really impact our social problems, then our policy and policymakers need to be able to create an enabling environment and have policies in place, and not just policies in place, because we have good policies in place that are respected, implemented the right way, and then tech can explode and change the lives of so many people, all the social impact and all of that. But without that, we're just going to be doing our stuff on our own level, and maybe on personal level, we end up making a lot of money for ourselves. Maybe when we make a lot of money for ourselves, we can turn around and start giving donations here and there. But if you want a national scale impact on social problems, there is no other way. We have to get the policies right.
Right. Okay. Now, there is this trending issue of tech development and Ponzi schemes. Some of the bad side of digital economy has come with, we have online fraudsters, people making lots of money from the digital economy. You as a tech developer, what are some of those measures you have put in place to avert some of these, should I say, viruses in the digital economy?
Well, look, you mentioned so many things that are not the same.
Right.
One, you take tech fraudsters. Next, you said viruses, and also Ponzi schemes. These are three different things.
Right.
Yeah, but just like the tech economy, which is created on a tech community, there are good things and bad things. I was proud from everything. Just like in Boya, there are still you don't need internet to have fraudsters, right? We used to call them dealers back in the day. So those things will always exist. The best.
Are there some measures you've put in place to prevent some of this
Actually, you
happening?
should be asking if the measures the government has put in place. I am not a policymaker.
Well, we know the government really doesn't have a grip on our online the online presence. There is some laissez-faire online,
at the level
and so
of
those who do the development of some of these online tools should always put security as the first thing.
Of course.
And all of that and all of these. I mean, I should make it up to you. There are some people who even go to job searching sites like Joku.com, and some people post fraud jobs there and till them and grab some money from them and all of that. So you as a tech developer, how do you advert things like this so that people don't walk around with bad publicity on some of the good things you do?
Yeah, definitely. That's a very good, interesting point. Yeah, if you put it that way, then I see where you're coming from. Yes. What we do is education, because these things will always exist. So you need to mitigate it first. Maybe you can put some machine learning. The machine learns to detect fraud.
Online intelligence.
Yes, sometimes, yes. But even that has its limits. People will still bypass it because human beings always find ways new ways to be fraudulent. It's just from the dark ages to the stone age, people always found a way. The word fraud is existing for a reason. So, yeah. But what we advise people is, especially like for job searching, most recruiters need you, so they will never ask you to pay money. So once somebody asks you to pay money, you should immediately know that's fraudulent. Maybe you should report it to us so we take it off our platforms, or report it to the platform where it comes from. You know, Joku is all machine. We have a robot that goes around harvesting jobs and bringing them to our database. People don't post jobs on Joku directly, no. We're a search engine like Google. So sometimes our robots might go and pick up fraudulent jobs, and we distribute it to thousands of Cameroonians. But the only thing we can tell them that is, if our robot makes such a mistake, all you have to do is you apply for sure, or maybe there are things you can check. Some of the jobs I saw were UN jobs in Canada. The UN cannot be recruiting, and they use an email at gmail.com or at yahoo.com. No. They'll use something at un.org or unscr.org. So if you see apply for this job and it says at UN Canada 2018 at gmail.com, it's clear that's fraudulent. So we need to educate people the more. And even if you apply and then they tell you, okay, you need to send money for some fee processing, just know that is fraudulent. Don't engage. So I think the best bet for me and for the internet is education. The more and more people educate, the better people will not fall for these fraudsters.
Right. Now, there is this phenomenon that is making hype around the world, this aspect of how to control the growth of the virtual world, especially Facebook, for example, Google. These tech giants seem to amass with them so much power that they tend to control democracy, and legislators around the world are trying to bring out some form of legislations that will put some control on the the growth and the prominence of these tech giants. Now, Cameroon may not be at that level yet where Cameroon is, because Facebook is already threatening the national security of Cameroon and all of that. So, to you, do you feel there is going to be a time in future where we are going to have superpowers, world superpowers online? We'll have online superpowers who dictate, or online dictators who dictate the pace of the world, dictate the activities of the world just with a click of the button?
Well, there is that threat, of course. There is, of course, the Arab Spring showed that Facebook Facebook tweets, social media was a threat to government, but most especially bad governance, because with such platforms, information is spread very fast, and it's easy for people to be informed within seconds. Before, for people to be informed in Cameroon, It has to be through government-regulated, maybe press, maybe through CRTV, maybe through the local TV channel, maybe through the government radio stations and private radio stations that are also regulated by the government. But now with social media, what somebody is posting from Mundimba, you can't really control. And that information automatically gets read by somebody in Betua, and then they can share it to their friend who is in Gaundere. And all this can happen within 1 minute. And there is no central way to control what's happening. And the platform developers like Facebook, like Twitter, they themselves also, they have a responsibility towards their users. They made some promises, terms of service and all of that. They can't be censoring because that feels like it goes against freedom of speech and things like that. So it's very tricky. I'm not a public administrator, so I can't really say I have answers to these difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's like the public leadership has been handed back to the people that are supposed to. So it has been the democracy has real meaning now in a country like Cameroon because people have a voice and people have a say. Mm-hmm. This is the good side, but there's a bad side. Somebody with an agenda could create what they call fake news, and because they are smart enough, they can push this fake news on social media and have 1 million people read it and believe it's true. So you can easily influence people to do a lot of unpatriotic things and stuff like that. But I just feel like it's in the place of the government to invest into highly skilled professionals who understand these technologies, which means they need to recruit based on merit, and they need to recruit the best people, not based on any other thing, but people that can actually do the job, so that when these things happen, the people will be able to counteract the effects of fake news and all of that, because the government can control Facebook, or maybe they can go the China way and they block Facebook altogether, then empower a local entrepreneur to create a social media platform for Cameroon, just like what China has done. Because they blocked Facebook and they empowered locals to create the things that, because in the digital world, a social platform is required. So if you can't build one, then one will be built, something like that. Yeah, I just feel it's the place of our public leadership to be able to recruit people based on skills, people who can do the job, such that when falsehood is shared on social media, these people who will also be computer scientists, digital experts, psychologists and all of that, can also be able to effectively run campaigns to counter this, or to be able to monitor and detect some of these things and immediately inform the public that this thing is bad, you should be careful of this. Just like in the US, they knew that the Russians affected there were some intelligent people that analyze and realize, but I'm sure if our elections were influenced by the Chinese, we'll never know.
Right, now let's talk about some of the challenges you tech developers face. We all know seed fund, let's say startup money. It's been good. Yeah, the venture capital has always been a problem with some of the startups. But what are some of those challenges you face?
Well, the challenges we faced are still there. Well, we face challenges in human capital, like finding the right people for the job. So we have resorted to, instead of building our companies, we invest some of our time and resources to train the people who come and build the companies. So it makes our growth slow. So one of the problems we have is human capital, finding the right talent. I'm sure HITV has the same problem. It's a Cameroonian problem. Yeah. The next one, and especially for tech, where you need real skilled people, very intelligent people, it's really harder because everybody wants these skilled people and their demand in the market is very high. So to keep them too leads to the next thing. You need a lot of money to keep them, and if you can't make more sales, you need venture capital. So the next problem is, how do we get the right money, maybe from sales, market, or from investors, risk investors, to be able to effectively retain the best talents to help our companies grow. So first, we have a problem finding the talent. Next, we have a problem retaining these talents to grow the companies. And how? So the next problem is finding the right capital. And in Cameroon, some of the reasons why we can't really get capital comes down to the policies. You know, like I said, we have, I always like truth. We have good policies in Cameroon. Our policies are good. If you read the text, they're all good. The implementation is the problem. Maybe it's also the problem of human capital. Find the right human capital to implement the policies. But the implementation of our policies it's not the best. And this leads to the point where investors are scared to have contracts with entrepreneurs in Cameroon and invest some kind of money because they feel it's high risk. And maybe the judicial system will not protect them well enough. So you see, all these problems affect even the same digital economy we're trying to build. So, and finally, if we can't find capital, and the overall of it all is we need the right favorable environment which comes to public administration and the policies. Yeah, so 3 problems.
Right. And what are some of those prospects? What does the future hold for tech development in Cameroon?
Well, for starters, I would say there are close to 5 million people online every month in Cameroon. So if you can build something that can take 1 franc from each of them every week, you're making 5 million francs every week. So the prospects are there. But now we just need to find the best ways to go about it. Yeah.
Okay, that's our program. Thank you for coming.
Well, thanks for having me.
Okay, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, dear televiewers, that is the point on the program today. Of course, we talked about the digital economy and tech development in Cameroon. I've been YANICK FONKI for presentation, and Guan Kainis manned the machines. We want to say special thanks to Mr. Eno Humphrey, who supervised the program today. Bye-bye.